probably, and we'll be talking about that in a second. Even though they tried to switch things up, this is probably like the last thing I was like, let me go see it. I'm curious on that new Captain America. Actually, let me pull up the the slate, bruh. I'm curious on that new Captain America joint. Boom. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm curious on that. Thunderbolts, I'm curious on that as well, cause I want to see Bucky. Fantastic Four, I have to see a trailer. But it's called the first four steps, or the first steps. I'm not really big on that. See, I was excited, but I don't well my main one is Pedro Pascal. Like, you're cool, bro, but you don't need to be in everything. I think, I don't know, bruh has to have the whole, like, he has to have Hollywood. He has to have, like, dirt on them, for real, bruh. I mean, he was in Game of Thrones. He got to be on some Tywin, Olenna, Tyrion level plotting, bro. Otto Hightower type shit, bro. He had to be on all that timing. Even if y'all weren't gonna get the fan casting, bro, like, you coulda, you know. You don't need the same person in everything. And that also kind of brings down the projects that he's going to be in, because we're either going to have to wait longer for those projects, or those projects will be maybe rushed, or even though he's the main character in these projects, brings down the scenes being cut. Now, spoiler alert for one of the projects I reacted to on the channel, we're not gonna have to worry about that much longer. Well, granted, they're trying to stretch it out, but I mean, that's unless y'all try to bridge the gap, you got a couple episodes at best. Now and then Blade, that's kind of in disarray right now. And we got Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, and then we got the directors being the Russo brothers. Now, I know y'all were just producers, but this is just making the Warriors go MIA. But all this is besides the point. Deadpool and Wolverine was the last thing that I was just like, yeah, let me go see. Now, actually, hold up. Where's the... Let me find out the shows, too. I'm not really big on a lot of the shows. The only thing I'm excited for is Daredevil. Let me see. I was excited for Echo, and I wasn't excited for Echo, and then I was excited when I got the trailer, and then they just went in a different direction. Agatha all along, I really don't care. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be bad, but I'm just like, that's not something that I'm like jumping out of my seats to go watch. Eyes of Wakanda, I've never heard about this. Yeah, I've never heard about this, so how can I be excited for that? I think that your favorite neighborhood Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I think that's a whatchamacallit, animation. Okay, so it's origin story for show. Ooh, we got Charlie Cox in there. And then Daredevil Born Again. That's what I'm excited for. Untitled Nova series. Whenever y'all get... I'll have to wait till I see a trailer. But Deadpool is the only thing I was really excited for. And it was an enjoyable movie. Okay, it wasn't what I was expecting, though. I was expecting it to either be, hey, Deadpool versus TVA, and now we're in MCU and this is the movie, or Deadpool versus TVA and that's the movie, and then we end up in the MCU, or maybe he does something and that causes, oh, why wasn't the Fantastic Four doing anything during Avengers Endgame or this, that, and the third? Where was the X-Men at? So the result of Deadpool 3, like that's being the result of like how the mutants come into place and Fantastic Four. Now, this is not saying like what we got. Oh, since we didn't get that, it's terrible. I'm saying that's just what I expected it to be. I didn't expect it to be Deadpool versus TVA, but just a fraction of it, and we're trying to. I mean, in a way, it's still versus the TVA, but it was not like he was going against the TVA in like every action scene. I didn't want to say every scene because that's made it sound like, oh, I went to action, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, like, anytime there's action and Deadpool was involved, that I thought it was going to be versus the TVA if they had that be the whole movie. Now, I'm listen, if we're here and we're talking about it, we're getting into spoilers. So let's just jump straight into it. Now, first we start off and he's talking about like, oh, you're wondering how we're going to do this? How now also take this into account. I haven't seen the newer X-Men films before. I was reacting to it, and then when I was finally about to go around and do the newer films, they took it off of Disney Plus. So we'll probably try to get those in the future. But it's like, oh, like I already know that Wolverine dies at the end of X-Men. Or at X-Men. At the end of Logan. And I know, like, you know, I don't really know plot points from the X-Men movies, but, like, there's scenes that are familiar. Like, okay, I know Quicksilver has this little scene where he does this and then he pushes the bullet out of the way. Like, I know stuff like that, but I don't know, like, big plot points. And I know, oh, people didn't receive this film well. Those are things that I know. So he's like, oh, how are we gonna, without disrespecting the end of Logan, we won't. He has a healing factor, he can't die. And the show's okay, yeah, he is dead. I don't know how that's possible, so I guess I'll have to wait till I see Logan has been something I've been trying to watch like since the trailer released. I was actually excited for that. Not excited for the film, but like after it came out, excited. Oh, that seems interesting to watch. Let me watch that. And I was like, I gotta watch the X-Men films first. And then he starts fighting with the TVA, and then he does his little flashback scene. So he tries to sign up for the Avengers. I'm guessing when this is happening, Tony Stark is just like in his retirement era, because it is 2018, so that would have to been after the snap, and because Hogan's just taking care of things, and obviously 2023 that's when everyone came back, and that's when Tony Stark died. And you know, I was trying to make sure, I was like, Hogan's here talking about Tony's not doing this. They better not mess up and say that he's dead. Because 2023 is when everyone was supposed to come back. You know what's crazy? Hold on. I didn't even think about it. We had this like little pause with the MCU. And a lot of it was because of the snap. And then anytime they like referenced something that wasn't the snap, it was like flashback. So before everyone gets snapped away, everything is good. And then when everyone comes back, that's when the world is back together from the pandemic. It's gotta, hold on, man. I don't know, man. Because wasn't it, I think it was 2019 that Endgame came out. And that's tough. But, I'm just saying that someone knew something. But, they say, nah, you gotta go be something else. He goes and, he basically off-brand, he was working at an off-brand CarMax. And then the TVA bring him in, but this is like a little rogue sect. And they're like, oh, hey, you can go and be an Avenger. Did they even answer who wanted him to be an Avenger? Just like, they was basically saying go into the MCU. And they were saying like, oh, when basically people who think they're the main character, when the actual main character dies, that's when the timeline will start to die off. So he's thinking it's him, but no, it's not him. It's Wolverine. So he has to try to go and find another Wolverine. So he grabs the guy's temp pad, dips out. And so it's like a little montage of him. First he pulls up and it's like, oh yeah, okay. He's getting an early stage Wolverine. Pulls up. And then he's like, oh, he jumps off. He jumps off and still like he wants smoke. Bruh's this size. Yeah, we're good on that. As soon as that happened, everyone in my theater is dying laughing. We get a Henry Cavill Wolverine. We get I think they called him Patch Wolverine. He's like in a casino, looking like a mob boss type shit. Yeah, and I think the one that we get, you know, his claws barely coming out. I'm thinking that this is legit. Until I seen the claws, I was like, okay. I'm like, what is the catch on this one? And I'm gonna be honest, when it first happened, I only seen it once on the channel. So in the first scene, like when he's having problems, when I think it's the first scene we're introduced to Wolverine and the X-Men. The first film, it's like in a bar. So I'm thinking, oh, are they recreating the scene? They could have, but like I said, I only seen the movie once. Cause they're already disrespecting my mans, but it's basically he let down the X-Men, and then he started going on a killing spree, and they didn't really explain it in depth or show it. But from how they explained it, sounded like, I don't know. It sounded valid. That's all I'm gonna say. He pulls back up to the TVA. He's like, "You think you could just replace Wolverine with another one?" And not only did you think that, you also brought the worst one. And then he basically kind of gives the hint of why. He prunes both of them. So they get sent to the void. And even though we had the end of Loki, and we had this whole reform type thing going on. There's still Eliath. Eliath? If y'all seen Loki, y'all know what I'm talking about. And you know what I don't get is you get, this was something I was thinking while I was watching the movie. You get prone to send you to the void just to have something that permanently gets rid of you. You can't just have something that permanently gets rid of him. But we wouldn't have a movie or a show depending on what we're talking about. But this one is controlled by, I guess it's Professor X. I guess it's his sister and died in a wound. I'm not very, I have not a lot of knowledge of X-Men. So y'all gonna have to inform me of that one. I don't know if this is something new to the show to the MCU, or if this is something that's, or maybe it's some obscure canon or whatever, or if this is like, oh, this is, everyone knows this. If you're an X-Men fan, you know this. The only people I really had knowledge of was Wolverine, and that's because he has some, some team ups with Spider-Man, and that's my guy. So then, I'm not gonna, the thing that got me the most, all right, there's two things that got me. 2.25 and 1.25 were together in one scene. We're going to talk about it in a second. But one of the first people you meet pulls up in a robe. I'm like, who is this? They're like, oh, that, like, they're talking, like, Deadpool's talking him up. And at first, I'm like, oh, they're about to show someone, like, I don't know who they're about to show. I'm, oh, man, who can they give, like, a good check that will come in for, like, a little cameo? I was like, okay, it's not gonna be anyone crazy. I know it's not Robert Downey Jr., and we'll be talking about it in a second. I know it's not Chris Evans. I know it's not one of the big Avengers. If it is, it might be Chris Hemsworth. He already had his little cameo with the crying thing. I'm gonna be honest, at first I thought it was pulled from the Dark World, and then they just like CGI Deadpool in there, but it looked like a total whole different thing, and then they put it to show you, hey, it's Chris Hemsworth. So I'm like, okay, who could this be? Maybe it's another Thor cameo. And then, actually, we could say y'all got me 3.25 times. Pulls off the hood, it's Chris Evans. I'm like, no way. I'm like, okay, well, he's gonna have a little cameo, and just how they had the little things with Wolverine, this might be like a Captain America who's trash. Like, he has no hands. Like, he's still strong, but like, he gets bodied by whoever. And then, or maybe, and then it was when he was like, he's got to say the thing or whatever. And then, as soon as Deadpool says Avengers, I'm like, oh, maybe he's gonna, like, maybe he's in a different group or something. Maybe he's a bad guy now. Maybe he's one of the bad guys. What is it gonna be? And then this nigga said Flame On, bro. I said, I forgot all about that, bro. I wasn't even thinking about that. That one got me for sure. And you would think I'd be, like, paying attention more at this point. Well, granted, nah. The one that really got me later on, like, I didn't think I'd ever see that, bro. So then, oh yeah, by the way, before this happened, we had our Deadpool versus Wolverine fight number 1. And then we get Wolverine versus, why am I blank? Versus Sabretooth. For some reason, I wanted to say Sand something. I knew it started on S. But we get Wolverine versus Sabretooth. Hits him with the... we got like 4 fatalities this movie. with a clean. That was actually more like a brutality. Because usually brutality is like one little hit, and then that's like they get disembodied or some shit, and then it's like brutality, and that's it. Boom. One little swipe, head gone. They get captured by people who is with Cassandra. We're gonna be talking about Cassandra in a second. And then their little base is Ant-Man's suit. And so they press a little button and the hands open up, and that's the gate. And then like the main like hub of the base is like within the helmet and shit like that. The arms are kind of like the walls of the to protect the base. And basically Cassandra's Professor X's twin sister, and died in the wound, I guess. So she's oh, we've never got a Wolverine down here. We have plenty of Deadpools. And then basically this is another fatality that we got. Deadpool is basically snitched on my man's Human Torch. So I don't remember if it was a snap of fingers or she just went like this, but basically made my man's skin disintegrate, and he just turned into red like strawberry applesauce, bro. Nasty. Man's the flesh went off man's bones like some good ribs. So feast them to Eliath. But as Eliath's pulling up, I don't know what that boot's from. I don't know what character that's from, but he gets a boot to start shooting. I don't know if that's maybe, is that supposed to be like a Mark 1 Iron Man suit or one of the Iron Man suits? I don't know. Anyways, it's a boot. They use it to fly away. They're, giving a little exposition. They get in a fight. Another fight. And then they not fall asleep, but they were fighting what is presumably for hours. So they're like knocked out. Someone gets in the car. I don't know how that car was working. That shit was beat to hell. Like I hit the front of my shit and my shit just total, but their shit was just like made my shit look barely like a scratch. So he wakes up. Well, where are we? He says, what did he say when he woke up? I don't remember. Oh, speaking of that fight, because I wanted to make sure I said this. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but it was confirmed when I look at the end credits, the credits at the end. At first I wasn't sure, but no one else gave a reaction, but they had played a little bit, like at the beginning of the fight, they played a little bit of The Greatest Show from The Greatest Showman. So it's kind of like funny how they did that. It was just a little part where it was like, oh, and before they can even finish that, like it like changed to the next song, because like they were fighting in the car, so it was like hitting the buttons on the radio and shit. And I knew it was when they showed it at the end, the credits at the end, that was the song that they used. But this is what got me. They're like, where are we? He's like, I don't know, but I like it. Man's drinking Jack Daniels. I remember the drink. Straight out the bottle. Pulls up. I don't remember what Shawty says, but it's Jennifer Garner's Elektra. I said, oh, hell no. Okay. So this is what we're doing. Now I'm going to be honest. There's a shorty next to me. I didn't get to scan her player build. Well, I did scan her player build, but I didn't get to scan the face. I knew the cakes was caking. She was kind of leaning a little close to me. She was either a big yapper during a movie, or like she wanted me to get some attention to her. I'm just trying to be cool, I'm just living life. But hey, I tried to let it slide during No Way Home. There's some emotional moments. There's that time That was a confirmed baddie. I walked in that bed late. I'm not gonna, well, granted, it was late to my standards. Um, I think there's one more trailer before the movie started when I walked in. So I seen her when I walked in. That was a baddie for sure. Emotional moments in No Way Home. Hey, I had to hold that bitch. Simple. The one that really got me, she was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." Thinking about Gwen Stacy. Hey, man, that's tough. First time we see Toby, I had to stay calm. But speaking of Toby, if we had these people come in, if Toby Spider-Man, or a version of Toby Spider-Man, like if it was a different variant, but it's still Tobey Maguire, hey man, they would have seen me doing, jumping up, doing all chair animations. So after her, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't expect anyone else, especially not the next person who walked in the door. And we get Wesley Snipes' Blade. Never thought I would see that in 2024, bro. First and foremost, he's one of the people that like that scared me when it came to Texas, bro. I don't know what they did. It's him and Chris Tucker, and there's a few others, but those are the two main ones. Still to this day, I'm like, hey, can we just have a set thing, bro? And then maybe when you make a little more, like they take a little more, and then like instead of me having to do mental gymnastics to wonder how much I'm gonna, oh, you didn't do this amount, so hey, we're coming for you now, nigga. How am I supposed to know? So I don't know how long that was, and I don't know. I haven't been seeing him for a good minute anyway. And Blade is one where it's just like it just drastically went. I don't even remember. Was the second one good? I don't remember the second one. I just remember the third one, and the third one was not it, Chief. And then I remember vaguely hearing. I didn't remember at that moment, but it wasn't until like the scene was going on, I was like, oh, I remember hearing that, where Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes did not like working together. So I'm like, okay. I didn't, especially in this movie. I did not expect that. If I would have seen that in like Multiverse of Madness, that's a movie that I would expect that, well, if it was to happen, that's the movie I would expect it to be in. Never in a million years would I thought I'd have seen it. Well, granted, I would expect it in Deadpool, but like not in that level. Maybe have him walk in the background during one of the scenes from the movies, and it's like you basically just CGI'd Deadpool in there or something like that. But not like, hey, that's Wesley Snipes and he's in this movie now. And he's not just having a little... well, I'll say him and Chris Evans had around the same, screen time. So then we get Gambit. Like, he looked familiar. I was like, I know I heard about this character. And then once they said the name, I was like, okay, I remember hearing about him. But, like, I'm not familiar with him, if that makes sense. It's like, I knew who the Punisher was, but I didn't know his name was Frank Castle until MCU. Or like a lot of the Marvel characters that I know of before the MCU was because they were in certain games or shows with Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, that's my OG. That's why when I started watching the MCU, is because I was like, oh, y'all are doing this thing over here. Man, it would be cool if No, because I was like, okay, these games will have Spider-Man with blah blah blah, and then the shows too. Why can't Spider like? Why is he always by himself in the movies? Like even like when Spider-Man went in the MCU, like I heard a little bit about the MCU. Like I wasn't like, okay, no, I heard about the Avengers, but like I didn't put those together. That's besides the point. Also, I need a Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Deadpool movie. I need that pronto. That's on my That's on my bucket list. Let's make it happen. I don't care which Spider-Man you use. I will, unless y'all make a better one, I would like a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. Unless y'all have a better one, I would like a Charlie Cox boss. Daredevil. That's on my bucket list. We're gonna be talking about. I was gonna say something concerning the MCU and Disney. We're gonna be talking about it at the end of the video, or if you're watching this on a stream. Now, okay, cool. They decide to team. And now at that moment, after Blade came out, I'm thinking, hey, I'm going crazy if they, even though we had it in No Way Home. But this one, I really don't expect it. If they had a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I'm going crazy. Cause like I said, I need those three in the movie. It was nice to have the No Way Home. And I guess we still, had the little Spider-Man Daredevil, but that was Matt Murdock. It wasn't really Daredevil. I mean, that's the same person, but like, you get what I'm saying. He wasn't teaming up. So then, but that didn't happen. That's when Gambit came through, and I was like, okay, it seems like no one else is pulling up. That's tough. Oh no, then X-23 pulled up. I already knew she was in the movie. That was not a surprise. So then they're like, we'll go against Cassandra. We have to get Juggernaut's helmet. And then kind of give a little shout out to the Punisher when they're shooting the rocket launch. No, they said this person went after him and this person went after him and they all died. And so they went over there and then they're fighting through. Then Deadpool and Wolverine get to Cassandra. She basically just, go to the side, Deadpool. And starts going through Wolverine's mind. And basically that's when he gives the full backstory. He basically told X-23 that he let them down, but then now she's going through his mind and is like, oh, nah, not only did you let them down, you started catching bodies afterwards. And from what it sounded like, he was sounding like the people who killed the X-Men, he was catching. Hey, he got it back in blood. Hey, what we talking about? That's kind of ironic. I was seeing like a little video, it's like every movie. And then the guy was like, no, we can't kill him. He's learned his lesson. The guy was like, nah, I'm probably going to kill again. It's like, see, he said he's going to kill it. He's going to kill us next. No, he's learned his blah, blah, blah. And then one of the comments was like, what makes it worse is that they go through all the bad guys just to change their mind. And like, the final straw is the boss. You already... Okay. No, I'm not even about to get into that. I was about to get into... I don't want to spoilers for anyone who only is on one media, so don't see the adaptation. But all I'm gonna say is gaming channel description down below, and then go to live stream, and then go to one of the earliest live streams in the game channel. One of the earliest live stream series, and then go to the end of that series. It's like that game. How many people did I kill? That's all I'm gonna say. So then, I'll be honest, I really just came here, like, I'm trying to get through this end, and I really just came here to talk about the cameos, and we got our cameos. Where the fuck was I? Oh, so I think he was valid right there, but I guess he feels this crazy remorse right there. And then they get the helmet, they put it on her, and then I forgot my man. See, he was in the X-Men films that I seen, and I remember that's the same actor because he played the guy with the bear and Fear the Walking Dead reactions on the channel as well. And he put 3 in her as she had Juggernaut's helmet on. And then he's like, Charles wouldn't want me to just sit here and watch her die. Takes the helmet off, and then she's like, a wizard came through here, and she pulls out a sling ring. Okay, it's either a life gets you or you get there. You got like 4 seconds. Cue the little slow motion, them jump through the, I don't know how they made that jump, but, well, Wolverine I understand, but I don't know how Deadpool made that jump. You're just a good fighter with a healing factor, bro, respectfully. And then I don't know if that's the MCU world or if that's Deadpool's world. And I don't know if when he applied to the Avengers, did he go to, I mean, they said that one's 616, but then Kevin Feige said, no, that's not 616. But then another movie said it is 616. And then it said when he was, oh, happy birthday, they said a different Earth. Anyways, whatever they were in that film, I don't know if that was his Earth or the MCU Earth. So then basically there's a machine to make the timeline to go faster. Cassandra's gonna leave the void and use that to destroy everything till nothing's left but the void. And this guy's like, oh, I didn't know that this would happen. And they're like, oh, if you go down there and do this and be the bridge, you'll stop it and it will kill her, but it would also kill you. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. Like, this is a redemption arc for that Wolverine, and this is how we say, hey, Wolverine is not returning. Okay, cool. It has to be Wolverine. As soon as Deadpool took it from him, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Where like this would kill him, but since it's both of them and they're both like have healing factors, they'll be cool. And then that's what happened. I'm trying to get through. I gotta piss. I ain't gonna lie. And then that's how they get rid of her. And then the post-credit scene, I'm gonna save y'all some time. The post-credit scene, it was basically when Human Torch said all this stuff. He was like, I don't even know what some of those words mean. Now, I don't know if he pulled us some AI imaging, but Deadpool was like, let's roll the tape. And then that's when he was like going through the whole spiel. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Hey, it is what it is, man. Hold on. BRB. I'm gonna be honest. I was about to just like give my little thoughts at the end, but then I was like, damn, I was really about to talk about the MCU after. I was like, I don't know if I would have made it through that. Anyways, I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable film. It wasn't really anything of consequence. Also, they did the little thing and it was like showing like, now I know he got stabbed and I'm like, oh, he's dead, but Blade got stabbed and then maybe that was another, hey, they didn't want to work with each other again, and that time it actually is not going to be a masked Deadpool, so we can't just fake it. But they showed, or maybe that's X-23's timeline, but they showed certain people that was there with around the table with Deadpool, and it was Wolverine and then X-23, and there was no Elektra, no, like, I guess forget all of them, huh? I don't know. I was kind of like, oh, let me see who's in the background, and I was like, I guess we're only inviting those two. It was like, if you ain't got no claws coming out, hey, you not coming out with us. But yeah, it didn't really have anything like of consequence. Like, it's not like oh hey, it has to lead into this big story, and granted it doesn't have to. But it wasn't really anything of like, oh hey. And this is something I differ from other people. I watched parts of Pulp Fiction, but I've never watched the full thing. But I heard it's like open ended. I don't like that. 9 times out of 10, I don't like it. And I'm not even talking about the execution. Like Inception, I'll let it slide. Okay, I'll rock with that one. But like I want my thing to have an ending or be like, hey, this is where we'll go in the future. So it kind of like was like open ended of like, if anything happens, Deadpool can do his own thing, but also MCU. Like, what are we doing with this? So, unless the things that I am thinking about is unclear, like let's say he's living that life, but he's in the MCU now, that was completely unclear to me. And granted, the whole thing was him trying to have Wolverine being the anchor to his universe. But it was still an enjoyable film. It's most definitely better than 97% of the projects that's been coming out. Not just Marvel, but Disney in general. Speaking of Disney in general. Now look. Hey. Y'all have too many strikes, bro. Too many strikes. At some point, you're going to strike out. After that wrap up on Mandalorian stuff. And I'm going to check out the trailer for the new Avengers joint. And after we get the Andor season 2, y'all really got nothing, bro. I'm going to be honest. Like, Ahsoka was alright. He has some good moments. MCU was just... Even the stuff that I like after Endgame, besides No Way Home, people collectively are like that. Like, okay, Multiverse of Madness, it was mid. I didn't really dislike it. There's some moments I liked, and some moments I didn't like, and a lot of moments I was just like, okay, that was cool, I guess. People hate it. Thor: Love and Thunder... I'm be honest, I'm just happy that they got rid of Dad Bod Thor. Other than that, I did not give it had no consequence, and like I was just like, whatever. At least we got yeah. I disliked it compared to other Thor moments, but I didn't shit on it as hard as other people did. WandaVision, I liked it. Overrated. People like, oh, that's the best. No, it's not the best, bro. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, underrated, but it's still mediocre. Actually, I got the stuff right here. What if... I feel like I like that better. I like it better watch it off camera. Reacting to it was, and like some of the like the Doctor Strange episode, I didn't really care for that episode, but that's apparently everyone's favorite for some reason. Loki in general is like one of their only things. Like, if you ruin Loki, just stop doing stuff, bro. Now you've ruined episodes and scenes and stuff of Loki, but in total, if you ruin Loki, you just don't need to be writing anymore. You don't need to be directing, produce. You don't need to be doing anything. Just retire and go work a different 9 to 5, bro. You're not cut out for this. Hawkeye, that's another underrated one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why people dislike Hawkeye. Like, there's people who like it, but it's not that much. Moon Knight. Moon Knight was cool. It had some good moments. I I think it suffered from an anticlimactic ending. Miss Marvel, underrated, but it's still mid at best. She-Hulk, I didn't even give that the time of day. It just looked trash. And then when I was like, oh, let me... No, I forgot about it. And then when I was seeing like clips and stuff, I was like, this shit looks trash. Same thing with Secret Invasion. I didn't even know What If Season 2 dropped. I just like, this is my interest level going down. Echo, like I said, I seen the trailer. I was like excited, and then the series was like, no sir. And that's the last thing we had. The series wise. Now what about, bro? Get off of here, bro. What about films? Where the fuck is post? All right, I already talked about. Okay. I will say Guardians 3, good, but completely overrated, bro. I think that was my least favorite Guardians, but it was still good. It was objectively better than a lot of the shit we've been getting from the MCU recently. Black Widow, let's just take the fact out that it was too late. Okay. You fucked over Taskmaster, but it was enjoyable. Wasn't good, it was just enjoyable. It is what it is. Shang-Chi, I'm be honest, that's underrated as it gets. There were some things that was not it, but for the most part I liked a lot of it. Like, it had the good in the first half. It had the good, like, grounded, like as grounded as you can get martial arts. Then they started bringing out the dragon shit, and the dragon shit was cool, but, you know, you didn't get too much of it where it's like, okay, can we stop with all this? Eternals, underrated, but still mid at best. No Way Home, banger. Multiverse of Madness, overhated, but mid at best. Same thing with Thor, Love and Thunder. Wakanda Forever, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this till the day I die. Overrated. You cannot... Okay. Let's just say... Let's take a whole different property, because I don't even want to associate this with Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Let's just say there's a project. The main character, the actor, gets arrested for drug use, domestic violence, and some different stuff. Now, we don't want to associate with that guy. So, their solution to that... Now, you try to say it's with respect. Their solution to that is within the first couple minutes of the film. And I'm not saying, oh, hey, here's some film and then... No. It's a couple minute scene at the beginning of the film. There's nothing else before it. They kill off that main character. There's nothing you can do... Off camera, by the way. There's nothing that you can say... Oh, matter of fact... The main character is supposed to have powers too, so how did this happen? You can't write anything after that that's going to make me be like, okay, yeah, all right, and then automatically you're already at a disadvantage. So you have to be firing on all cylinders. Then we get to the whole Namor thing. If you don't, you go check out my reaction. To Black Panther. I was trying to remember because if y'all remember, my PC got fucked up, so I don't remember if that was the one of the ones that got corrupted. That was right before my PC said I'm gonna clock out. So, oh, you don't help us. You don't help us take over the world or subject the world to whatever. I don't even remember. I forgot his exact words, but then we're gonna sink Wakanda. That, bro, you sound stupid, bro. Everyone was hyping him up. That made it even worse. Now it was an emotional moment with the Queen Mother dying. Okay, yeah, cool. But still, I'm going to say forever. And even now, granted, I didn't look into this, but I had heard that the brother of Chadwick Boseman, or someone family member, someone close, was saying they should recast, or Chadwick wanted them to recast. I don't remember how it was phrased. But let's say that wasn't the case. This is the only way that I can visualize it as disrespectful. Now, granted, we're in a pussified time period, but is if they completely uncanny valley AI and something like that. But if you recast, especially when it's like, we're just talking about Blade, but people forget that, but the first big black superhero. Not talking about Blade, because people always forget about that, like I said. Okay, so how are we going to uphold this legacy? Comics, okay, I don't want to say comics, but from my recollection, or not my recollection, from what I know, or what I think, it starts with T'Chaka. Just how Ant-Man starts with Hank Pym. Then the next generation, we get Scott Lang. We might have someone in between Scott Lang, I don't remember, before we get to like Cassie and all that. But then we got Scott Lang. So we start MCU with Scott Lang, and there's some backstory with Hank Pym, and then and Hope. Okay. So MCU, we start with T'Challa. In the comics, we started with T'Chaka, but we get the backstory of what T'Chaka. So not only did we not start with those characters, not only did we not start with the first person from that category, we went to the next generation. So after Scott Lang is done, he might have some team ups with Cassie, but Cassie was that next in line. I have no problem with you having different characters holding up mantles. I'm not one of those. I have problem with you being like, oh, Peter Parker is black. Like, no. Let that be Miles Morales. Let that be a different new version of a Spider-Man. So, next in line would have been Shae. And then after that, you could have done a kid and like whatever you wanted to do. But we needed at least three, and after the void that Iron Man left, we needed at least 3 Black Panther movies with T'Challa. So, I'm sorry, this is a tangent. This is just mind-boggling to me, bruh. I said, don't recast, it's disrespectful. Drop the trailer. Hashtag recast T'Challa. Trending. It's too late, nigga. They're done with the movie, bruh. They put in the last visual effects and that's it. They're not about to reshoot the whole movie. Y'all should have kept that same energy. And then now that's done, it's like, I'm glad. Some people are like, I'm glad you... Bro, what are you talking about? This is not only does it hurt the writing, it hurts the legacy that it left of like, now the younger generation have that black superhero to look up to. And I'm not one of the people that be like, the black and blood. I don't get into all that. But just looking at that aspect, now that character's dead off screen, is that not disrespectful? They're dead off screen. Oh, well, he has the kid. Yeah, now we gotta wait for the kid to grow up. Are we gonna do another time skip? So forget all about all the other stuff so we can have the time skip so the kid can learn how to be Black Panther? There's no problem with Shae being Black Panther. She just needed her turn. She was not ready. Let her just be the smart one for right now. Let the third movie... You don't even gotta kill T'Challa the third movie. Let him train up Shae. He dies in an Avengers movie, maybe. I much rather... I don't know. I don't remember when Chadwick Boseman died. It was probably after Endgame. I was gonna like you could added a reshoot with him dying in the fight or something. I don't know. Anyways, that was my little tangent on Black Panther, bro. I will never rewatch the movie, bro. And not cause like it's just you don't kill off your main character off camera in the first couple minutes too. That's insane. And a character who wears a mask, bro. You could have killed him off you could have killed him on camera in an epic way. It's like, damn, we don't know how we're gonna mess with these people. They got vibranium too, right? Have him go against them. He don't know who these people are. Have him start with a mission. That mission that y'all had in the tanker on the sea. Have Black Panther there, and he's trying to do his own mission, but that's when their first appearance. And damn, now we really gotta fight him. They killed our king. You didn't know that they had that vibranium spear. See, I never thought about that before. Well, I thought about him dying in the suit towards the beginning of the film, but just within that couple seconds, I thought of that, and that's completely better. And you're gonna have to, fix it up a little bit, but still. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Mixed bag. I was gonna say overhated, but like some of the things that's hated about it is not hated enough. I already talked about Guardians 3. The Marvels, I didn't even see. I was going to see, and then the timeline didn't come around, and then yeah, I wasn't that excited to see it. Now we got Deadpool and Wolverine. But Deadpool Wolverine is like the biggest. There was no like, yes, but this. The only thing, like I said, it was kind of open-ended. But besides, like a lot of people like that. Hey, I'm not gonna fault that. So it's the best thing that y'all have for a minute. Now, talking to the future, hold on, you see right here. Yo. Okay. Hold on, let me write that down because I for sure will forget about that. 39. Okay. So I finished watching Deadpool, and then that's what was the first thing that was on my feed. So at first I'm like, they gotta be trolling. What are we doing right here? I don't care if it's a different variant. What are we doing? And then I was like, oh, the only thing that could make sense is like, okay, it's Doctor Doom. And and Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom, pretending to be Tony Stark to mess with the Avengers, like psychologically get in their head. I'm like, okay, that could work. And then it's kind of, I don't want to say the reason why I thought of it because that's something, but maybe someone will bring this up and then I could verify that in the future. But I was like, okay, because a lot of like, for instance, if you're looking up Captain America and Captain America the Winter Soldier, you go to the casting thing. That's Bucky Barnes. That's Bucky Barnes slash the Winter Soldier. Oh, okay. So that reveals nothing to you. Or like, let's say they had something like that. Maybe they wanted to be a mystery. Who's Doctor Doom? Where it's basically, it's no surprise because we're told the cast ahead of time. So, okay, the big announcement is going to be Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. But we're going to cast this guy. His name's going to be Saul. Saul's going to be a character in the movie, but that's really Doctor Doom. And then when he's Doctor Doom, he's putting on Iron Man's like face. So when you see that the Saw guy, oh no, that Saw guy is actually what Doctor Doom actually looks like. That's him when he's just like on the sidelines camping, just like visualizing shit. Okay, cool. Unless they do that, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, bro. Now, granted, I'm not gonna be able to see that in the trailer, so I actually would have to see this in film. Just like I wasn't excited seeing Joker, but when they told about, I was like, oh, that's a cool little okay. Because I'm like, that's not really Joker. Like, I need Batman trying to mix him up. The whole thing was not to tell his backstory. But if they do that with this, that could be cool. If not, I don't want to hear anything. I don't care if there's 20 million variants. Now, and on top of that, now the reason why we're getting this. Now, granted, I've been trying to see Doctor Doom for a minute. But the reason why we're getting this is bullshit. And I can't rock with that. Y'all didn't learn your lesson from Johnny Depp? Now, that's another John. That's stuff. That's another John. Now we got Jonathan Majors. That's crazy. I can't ever support shit like that. Where it's just like, this thing happened, you're out of here. When someone does that, like, so that was like the last thing I was like, I'm not rocking with. And to top it up, on top of all of that, y'all have the audacity for your Disney Plus UI to be trash. Your shit better be top tier. Number one, you're Disney, bitch. That's number one. Number two, you're pulling all this bullshit. Your shit better be like, everything better be up to par. But if you've seen, what did I react to? I think it was Ahsoka, and there's Ahsoka. I don't remember if there was any Marvel ones. Look up any Disney Plus shows or any Star Wars shows that I reacted to on this channel. And a lot of the time you're gonna see me being like, well, I made the joke of calling it Disney minus. Like if I go to my tabs, like for instance, Max says HBO Max. I refuse to call it something else. And at the end it says it's the Disney Plus. I put Disney minus. You like. And then just your UI is not user friendly, and then your shit wants to like not work. Now, granted, your shit's not like it's not like AMC. I just recently tried. I'm gonna have to try it again in like tomorrow when I Snowpiercer reactions on the channel. But I checked out the first episode, and then that was trash. That's another AMC. You got no business doing that. Disney for a different reason too. AMC, y'all just some cheap son of bitches. I don't like y'all anyway. I don't rock with y'all regardless. I'm talking about the show, not the movie theaters. Disney Plus or Disney, you got too much money for this shit. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. If you like the video, I'm sure you drop a like, subscribe, share with your friends. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'm out. Peace.